what happened yesterday was all about how you guys responded tonight. How do you guys feel that you did that?
I think, the physicality of last night's game, every game's different obviously, but I thought, we were a lot tougher with the ball, and as a result took care of it better, and that was reflected in some of the assist numbers. And again, they played small during the large portion of the game anyway, but that said, the possession game, we were much better, and I thought we were focused. So that's, as you guys have mentioned and asked me, you try to take what you can, and I thought our guys were focused and ready to play. That's a hard game, particularly when a team shoots it that well, and they're loose, and the game changes when all of a sudden there's 5 shooters out there and guards. And the one thing that we've still got to dig in on is just early in possessions in transition where people see too much space and they're just attacking us in the open floor. And it's really hard for any one player to defend the ball in that situation. We just have to have more urgency collectively to get back and show a crowd where you don't see that space and feel like you can attack the rim. Last night that was OG, and it's very similar tonight, and that's something we got to do better at.
Coach, 147 points tonight, very good offensively, 56 of those points coming from the bench. Just talk about how impressed you are with the efficiency of your bench tonight when it came to score the ball.
Yeah, our bench has kind of changed game to game, and one of the things about this group is, there's some guys that are playing more consistent rotations, but a lot of players just have to be ready. And when you see a night like that, that's exactly what happened. Terrence gave us really good minutes tonight. His physicality, his toughness, and his ability to attack the rim. And we're going to end up finishing with multiple lineups. We're going to have different starting lineups, and we're going to have different lineups throughout the game based on matchups and who we're playing. And our guys, as you said, that's reflected on the bench and their productivity.
Speaking of lineups, I know that's one of your favorite things to talk about, but with Mo, he's predominantly played as a wing, but tonight he played most of his minutes at center. Just curious what you saw from him as the backup five.
Yeah, I think, as I mentioned, one of the things about Mo is we're going to take a little poll here and ask everybody what position he is. Because the thing for him is we just want him to be a basketball player. And if he's the biggest guy in the court, which he is when he's out there every time, is there a situation where he's switching pick and roll? Is he spacing? The game is different for him depending on who he's playing with. And that's something he's got to continue to adapt to. So for him in his mind to think about himself as a center or a wing or a forward, whatever it is, I don't want him to box himself in like that, because that's not how we see him. We see him as a basketball player.
Coach, one more question about Mo, just more general.
You don't want to ask about Zach?
No.
You got tired of it in Charlotte, right? Okay.
What do you think about his progression throughout the season, and what is the biggest difference between last year, he was injured, and
Mo, you're talking about?
Yeah.
Well, I think last year, for Mo, he didn't play last year. I mean, this is basically his rookie year. And for him to spend the majority of the season, in the G League, and then all of a sudden be put in the situation he's in now, and really Dom as well, but in most cases, this is his rookie year. And if Jalen was there, the situation might be different, but he's not. And I think he's done a great job responding to that opportunity and looking to give us, there's ways that he can impact the game that are unique. That's true of a lot of guys, but it stands out with Mo with his length and his size. So we're pleased with his progression. I think I've said this before about other younger players. When you're 21 and 22, and like last night, you're playing against 27, 28, 29 guys that are in their prime. That experience is a challenge, and more than anything, it's how you respond to it, and it's also, an opportunity to get better. And I think that's what he's been able to do as he's been in those competitive situations. Continue to learn the level that you have to play at to have success in this league. It's a men's league.
Coach, 4 games left, one of those being the last home game. Over the stretch of these 4 before you head into the play-in, what is it specifically that you're wanting to continuously work on as you head into the postseason?
Well, I think the things that we need to do to win, to me, we have to run offensively. Every team needs to make shots, but we need to get good shots. Getting up and down the floor allows that to happen more consistently. In order to do that, we have to defend and rebound. And for us, a lot of times in those situations, game plans are very important because of our opponents, and oftentimes matchups and a lot of things that go on. So it's executing in those situations. And again, that's why I bring up the transition defense, because if we're not back and people are in the paint and in the rim, we don't even get a chance to guard in the half court. Those things are so connected for us. If we foul, again, that's good defense, playing without fouling. Defensive rebounding, that's good defense, because those second chance points and free throws make it harder for us to be efficient on offense. So those are a few of the things right there. And as I've said before, we got to take care of the basketball.
Coach, big night for Emeka Okongwu. He finished with the best plus minus on the team. Could you speak to how he impacts the team when he's having nights like this?
Yeah, the one thing about recently defined as, in the last couple of months, he's been very consistent. And there's games when he's gotten more shots, hasn't gotten shots, made shots, not made shots. But the thing that the consistency has been really with his focus on defense. And that's allowed him also positionally, because he's been solid. He's taken a lot of pride in that. He's so gregarious that he's smart, and he's got a lot of pride in executing his role and his job. And that's one of the things that I think has really helped him. That's helped his ability, particularly to defensive rebound. So a lot of good things that he's doing. And some of the passes that he's been able to make as well, I think are a big lift for us, because it gives us a slightly different way to score.